Shamanic Eye. Gabrielle here. Alright. Love, some joy, some celebration, a little OMG, and always grounded in the truth. Archangels, you are on deck. You know your positions in perpetuity. Thank you, Holy Spirit, Father. Protect me as I open myself up to be a channel for the Divine Collective. Allow these messages to reach those who need them. Guys, these are general collective readings. Parts may resonate or none at all. Feel free to share the content with those it may resonate with. Okay? Let's just mitigate bandwidth right now. All right. Ooh. I cut the deck to sovereignty. Gotta love that. Acceptance. Somebody have creation. Somebody just gonna have to accept that that's what you was made for, love. They gotta surrender. Yeah. Look, sovereignty, surrender. Look, boundaries, acceptance. Bad, 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 bad. Give me 50 feet. Will, action, assessing, boundaries. Someone has been blocked out of your energy. You're growing, blossoming. Yeah, you're having a pretty big impact on folk, is what it looks like. Didn't I say you were growing? Look, growth. You surrendered to this process because it's for your own well-being, your highest and greatest good. I like this. Self-love. See? 33 is a 6, and there's 6 again. Look at that. The hot moon extremes. Power. I feel like you have grown. You have developed self-love through the extremes. And now that power of self-love is exuding from you. Interesting. Come on, man. I'm not distracted. I saw my baby. You know, you know. All right. Blossom. Wow. All right. This is dope. Yes. Here. Out again. All right. I just want you to show. I want to show you the synergy here. Oh wow. This is so neat. So we have 33 here, breaks down to a 6, right? We have another 6 right here. Right. Sacrifice came out, which is a 12, breaks down to another 3, right? So there's a lot of spiritual communication. I apologize for the broadcast. Like, you know, it is what it is. I'm doing my best with the feed right now. So hopefully you can hear me clearly. If not, see the card so clearly. Okay, we have 26 breaking down to an 8, right? We have 8 here. We have 7 here. We have 7 here. We have 7 here, right? We have 5. We have 5, right? There's another 6 up here, right? And I cut the deck to firm foundation. Transformations of 13 breaking down to 4. Man. It's so funny. Because I feel like some of you just had to surrender to the fact that you are intuitive. And look, solar plexus is on the bottom, another 3. You are intuitive, you are psychic, you're a medium, you are connected to the cosmic forces. With third eye chakra coming out on top of that. I feel like for your own growth and development, you were willing to actually sacrifice whatever it took to get to the promise that God has with you. You know what I mean? Your personal pact with the divine. And then with base chakra, right? And growth. Like, it shows that you have been transformed, like literally from the ground up. Everything about you is wholeheartedly different. In self-love, I feel like the transformations that are visible, right, are because of the journey, because that you decided to pour into yourselves. And then with the extremes and conflict and defeat, patience and planning. See, most people would have given up because of the extremes. But you didn't. You kept the faith. You kept learning with this book right there. Through the ascensions, because the sweat on the back of the person in the card there, it reminds me of Kundalini energy, the golden liquid that travels up and down the spine when you have your third eye opening. Like, got chills. I know it's true. And then you have power and accelerated motion. You are being powered by the divine. It's incredible. Look, stand your ground. You know what you know. You are who you are. Look, like I said, your personal pact with the divine, with spiritual union here. Triumph. I told you, people been blocked out your energy. You have won. You have won. Look, you have reemerged from the Hermit, Seven of Pentacles energy. You've emerged as the Nine of Pentacles. Exuding, look at that. King of Cups energy. Patient, balanced, compassionate, empathetic, tolerant, beautiful energy. Look, there's the Eight of Wands and the Chariot. That's this combination here with the accelerated motion and power. Like I said, you are being driven and empowered by the divine. Look at this. Beautiful. You truly, look, Ace of Swords is dropped out. You are being driven, empowered by the divine. When I tell you, you are being celebrated in the highest of high places. Three of Cups, Ace of Cups. Look, there's the Lovers. Look at the Angel. Like, yes. Three of Pentacles, Page of Cups. Yeah, this collaboration, it's bigger than you. You are literally working with the Trinity energy. Wow. And I do feel as though there are kindred spirits, kindred souls, people being guided to you, and vice versa. Again, through the adversity, you still persevered. Ten of Swords, Eight of Cups to the strength. No one knows how you did it because there were so many that came against you. And I really do mean that. I really, really do mean that. People left you for a goner. And those who left you for a goner, judgment is upon them. And watching you win and pour into yourselves is the best victory anyone could ever ask for. Because you're not doing it out of spite. You're doing it in spite of other people's actions and activities and energetic bombardments, their pervasive tactics. Look, I told you they're under judgment, and there's your triumph because you put your head down and you stuck to it. The cards are secondary, my love. I'm talking to my light workers, those who had to go through so much in order to teach, in order to guide, to instruct, to show, to be the leaders that you're called to be. But in order to lead, you must first be a student, right? All teachers are students first. So here we are. This is your destiny. Especially for those of you who have had to engage in diabolical spiritual warfare that was set against you. Not that you used their tactics. No, that it was that it was done and you persevered. Tower. Death. You beat death multiple times by choosing you over and over and over again. Beautiful energy, guys. Look, and you truly left the pain of the past behind. Ow. They were it's funny because I feel like people were looking for you to be out of sorts. But you have rode the wave of your awakening like nobody's business. The rebirth that you are experiencing and that you have gone through not once, not twice, but multiple times. It's literally pouring out of you. You are not the same person. Look. Quiet as it's kept. And I do mean quiet as it's kept, Two of Swords. You got people really rooting for your well-being, your happiness, your success. And I also see quite the opposite, where you were targeted because you are in the Nine of Cups. Independent, happy, self-sufficient, but you also exude a lot of gratitude to the divine. And I feel like that scares people too. But I also feel like it's an envious quality for those who have never connected to our Father. Knight of Cups, Emperor. See what I mean? See what I mean? They thought you were like on some pipe dream about your passion projects is really what that feels like with the Nine of Cups, Hierophant energy. I also feel like for some, they were happy for you, but terrified, especially for those of you who are in the spiritual community. Blossoming and sacrifice. Chariot. Boom. Third eye, surrender. Empress. Look at the 3 again. Face chakra and growth. Exactly. 4 of Wands. See what I mean? From the ground up. Self-love transformation. Seven of Pentacles. See? Investing in yourself. Extremes, conflict and defeat, and patience and planning. Seven of Wands. Look, you stood your ground. I told you. Dedication. Wow. Look, confirmation on confirmation on confirmation. Stop that. Power and accelerated motion. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Look at that. Knight of Wands. Perfect. That's that galloping energy. Optimism, power, charging. How you like me now? Energy. Yeah. It's amazing. It truly is. I love it. I really do. It is what it is. Mm. You have healed your sacred masculine, your sacred feminine. Look at this. 777. It's a very fortunate, prosperous time. You slew the devil. And look, I rebuke the devil and all his minions by acknowledging your own shadow and tackling it. And I mean, look, 5 of Wands. You was competing with yourself and your own energy. Had nothing to do with outside forces. And so look, you went within. Again, this is why self-love. You can't help who you are. This is very much giving me Princess and a P, especially with the Empress sitting here, the Nine of Pentacles, and because in that particular story, she didn't look like her atypical princess. But boy, was she more than qualified. And you took the time to work on yourself. But I also feel like this is, again, just confirmation on a very prosperous season. You so won. Life as you know it is really getting ready to change. And I mean it. Wow. It's beautiful energy. Okay, let's pick these up. Let's go another round. I don't want to stay too long because the stream quality seems a little extra. At least from where I'm viewing it. The unexpected. I feel, let me just wait. I'm going to pull one more from this stuff. I guess they said two. But I guess that was like the ace in the hole, right? Because no one expected you to do the inner work, right? To self-reflect. And that's how this energy of abundance came in, how you were able to shift it. Yeah. Okay. It's so rare. Like, you know, this very much brings in that energy of many are called, but few are chosen. Few are chosen because so many abandon the journey, the walk. So, the unexpected. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Power. Self-reflection. Look, what I say, movement, choices, and decisions. And there's the Empress again with fertility. Abundance. Oh, I'm sorry, my stomach. Look. There. Okay. Now listen. Stop that. Third eye chakra and sacrifice came right back out. Change. Look. Temptation. Wow. Prayer. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. So look, this is strength and there's a devil, right? And look, this is the universe, positive movement forward and triumph, okay? You were definitely challenged. Oh, I'm really, I don't want to say I'm over this energy of the Job phase in someone's life, but we're moving forward from it with moving on, okay? And then look, wisdom. We've learned what we need to learn. Right. No longer trapped in fear. Okay. I actually kind of feel like somebody was trying to project their own insecurities, excuse me, onto another person, hoping they would sacrifice their own abundance by not being able to perceive that that was being projected, right? Hoping that you, only because only you can change that course, okay? Look, and now this person, look, they were absolutely projecting energy. But the universe, look, said they'll allow it. Look, Six of Pentacles, Six of Swords, and there's the High Priestess. Look, there's the Emperor. Because all it was going to do was help you grow your power of perception, of intuition, of discernment, all of the abilities that you have. All it was going to do was help you grow. Yep. And so the more they attacked, the more this helped. Because it didn't make sense. It's made you richer and more wealthy and more abundant in every area of life. You can't, fertility and abundance, come on now. Come on now. Now your third eye is lit. Now if that John ping, you be like, I gotta go. You will walk away post haste. The moment you see any low vibrational energy, you have truly learned the lessons of Saturn. Yeah. And I really feel like that is just crazy. Because they have tried to block your path and destroy your opportunities and your sense of direction and well-being. That's a lot of fiery Mars energy. There's Mars and there's Aries. So you were definitely under heavy, heavy attack. And they watch and they plot and they do again and again and again and they study and they're confused. Because again, I told you, it just grows your discernment. There's the Ace of Cups, right? That's you, collective, the Ace of Cups. And they were hoping they would be able to confuddle you and you would take this bogus ass magical latent offer, right? And you wouldn't know who you are. And I said bombard you for a reason. There's a Ten of Wands, right? Tricking you out your destiny. Look, star and strength. Look, wow. But they had no idea that you truly are a light worker, a star seed, whatever you want to call it, an oracle, a prophetess, that you work for God. They see now, because they done threw everything at you, probably even the kitchen sink. But these are just the energies that are being removed. That is the theme for this. You are being lifted up out of the abyss. You've more than paid your penance is what I'm getting. So there could be some unexpected relocation travel for somebody. And I do mean that. But you're going to have everything you need to to succeed. And I do feel like it's unexpected. Especially you see this if you are a single parent. Just saw the Queen of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles. Yeah, look. Don't worry about it. Queen of Pentacles, Empress, right? You could even be with child right now. Congratulations. But either way, it's going to work out. It's going to work out. You've already sowed some seeds that you've been sitting on. You know, we don't share our manifestations for a reason. So motherfuckers can't block it. Can't block it. It's going to work out just fine. Yep. It was. Unexpected, I'm telling you. It's coming. Look, so ordereth the Lord. Judgment on top of the Empress on self-reflection. Yes, because what you have been putting out, baby, you are getting back. And I feel like you've been like really aggravated fucking things. But anyway. I know a lot of folks like, oh my, no. It's a logical reason why they're here. I promise you. Anyway. Please. Look, I mean, so much abundance. So much. Because you really have put a lot of energy out. And I mean that. And there was a lot of challenges from the dark side trying to get you to stop that, trying to get you to change who you are, blessing people, praying for people, being generous. Man, trying to stagnate your good heart. Look, trying to dominate and control. Look at that devilish energy, Capricorn energy right there. And you maintain, you was like, it's cool. I know you're there, but I'm going to ignore you. Because you already knew it was a test. Look at that. Capricorn, Libra. That is the axis. That is Saturn. And that really, it's like Libra scales. And truly Saturn. Saturn loves Libra. Because she's so just and so balanced. Right. See, look. 5 of Wands. Like, look what it says. I think I will cause problems on purpose today. Right. This was just a game. Right. With you. Whether you knew you was playing or not, this was a game. A little competition between the light and the dark to test the spirit, to test the faith. And you passed with flying colors. You maintained. Look, and so the universe is like, here you go. Let me drop this Ace of Pentacles on you, boo-boo. Booyaka. Look, here you go. New beginning. Start over. Look, everything's going to be balanced out. Look, new cycle, and it's going to be better than you could expect, and it was worth the wait. You're going to see what that test of faith really brought you by moving logically and not emotionally. So much excitement's coming in. Such a beautiful transition. Wow. Beautiful transition. You gotta have faith, 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 faith. Because I feel like somebody was hungry to trust the divine. Look at that. Hunger and trust and resilience, peace, focus, boundaries. Look, acceptance. Wanted to move beyond faith to a place of knowing, baby. Because you don't have to have faith in what it is you know to be true. I know God is real. This is not a faith-based thing. It's beyond, okay? And I feel like that's where a lot of the people in the collective are as well. That you have had so many close encounters, so many spiritual awakenings, and let's just say the eyelid peeled back and removed from your third eye, that it's no denying. So you're beyond faith. You are solid. Love it. I'm going to leave this here. I hope this helped. Again, I apologize for the broadcast. It really is out of my control. Yeah, we will do this again in the near future. Thank you for tuning in. Bye.